Over to you, Dr. Virender. What do you, Dr. Virender?
Good afternoon, all. I think we can start now. It's 2 o'clock. Dr. Gajjar sir, Kumre sir, what do you say?
Okay, we are ready.
Right.
Ready,
So,
sir.
good afternoon, all dear colleagues. My friend, Honorary Secretary, ISA National, Dr. Naveen, senior colleagues, please keep your audio muted.
Yeah.
And dear friends, we've kept this webinar on the request of the new members who have recently joined in our ISA Financial Cell Advisor Group. And it's always useful to learn. Learning is never stopped. Nobody is that intelligent that you can know everything. It's a continuous process. So before I start, Dr. Naveen, are you free? Can you speak or you speak later? He is busy. I think simultaneously a program is being done in Delhi.
Yes, Dr. Virender sir, Dr. Naveen has come for our Delhi YuvaCon today.
He is on the stage. I think inauguration is going.
Yes, I will be going there immediately after this webinar. So I know for a fact that he is there today. He is attending that, sir.
So, yeah, okay, thank you. And so straightway, let me introduce our today's speakers. Dr. Rajnikant Gajjar, he is from Bharuch, Gujarat. He is MD. He is NISM certified investment advisor level 1. He is also NISM certified retirement planner. And he is blogger in personal finance at rkgajjar.wordpress.com. Our second speaker, Dr. Komresh, is MD, NISM certificate in mutual fund distribution. And our third speaker, Dr. Arun Mehra, is DA and MBA. So all of them are very learned speakers, and I'm sure members are going to enjoy their talks today. So straightway we'll be going to Dr. Rajnikant Gajjar sir to start his talk. His topic is basics in financial planning, mega myths in money management. I mean, what are the common mistakes? What we assume? He'll be speaking on that, basics of financial planning. Over to Dr. Gajjar sir.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. To start with, let me admit that this is the repeat presentation of one which I did in November 21 at ISACon 2021. But I am very much sure many of you would not have attended that session, neither you would have listened to this presentation. So this is as good as a premier presentation only. Way back in Vedic cultures, in Chandogya Upanishad, when Narad Muni approaches Sanat Sujat Rishi to learn the ultimate in Paravidya, that is Adhyatma Vidya, about moksha, mukti or salvation, the first thing that Sanat Sujat Rishi asked Narad Muni to do is to unlearn whatever he has learned. Simply because if the hard disk is empty, then only some new data can be imprinted, new knowledge can be absorbed by the intellect. The moment we became professional, the moment we started making money, we also did have certain fixed ideas about money management skills. But over the years, these concepts, these ideas have changed. So this presentation is an attempt to unlearn something and to relearn so many new things. Basically, it is a process to delete the outdated concepts, data in money management skills, and to revise it, to update it with new money management skills. This Sunday afternoon webinar on financial matters is more than a simple 2-hour business. Whatever wisdom, understanding that is shared in these sessions is to be followed by us, to be lived by us in our lifetimes, to be and to remain wealthy. Otherwise, it becomes simply an infotainment, that is information and entertainment. I hope and I pray that it doesn't happen so with our webinar. Whatever lessons are learned are followed by us. So now, without spending much time on introduction to my presentation, I'll start straight away with my presentation. Respected dignitaries and dear colleagues, good morning, everybody. This session on money management for anesthesiologists is under the guidelines of Indian Society of Anesthesia Financial Advisory Forum, a group of anesthesiologists only, advising about financial aspects for the benefits of the society. This session, money management of anesthesiologists, is in 3 parts. I'll start with the first one, that is 3 mega myths in money management. About myself, Dr. Rajnikant Gajjar, I passed my MD in anesthesia in 1988. I also passed NISM Level 1 Investment Advisory exam, also NISM Retirement Planner exam. NISM stands for National Institute of Securities Market. It is a semi-recognized institute for certifications in personal finance and capital markets. I usually write on my blog, rksgajjar.wordpress.com. I usually write about personal finance. I belong to Bharuch, Gujarat, where Statue of Unity is. Mega myths in money management. I start with the definitions. Myths mean widely held beliefs or concepts for decades together, but basically they are false or misleading or misguided. So in simple words, myths mean mega misunderstandings. Another word is personal finance. Personal finance is personal money management. I identify this personal finance with an acronym, STIIL, STIIL. Here the first letter S stands for saving strategy. Second L, T stands for taxation planning. Third I stands for insurance management. Another I stands for investment planning. And last L stands for loans management. So a person with sound and prudent knowledge in personal finance has a saving strategy that helps him to reach his financial goals of life. He has adequate knowledge in taxation, which enables to reduce his taxation burden. He is prudent enough to have adequate enough insurance at lowest cost. And a person with prudent knowledge in personal finance develops and devises his investment planning in such a way that his life's all financial goals are well fulfilled. And naturally, a person with sound knowledge in personal finance is able to manage his loans, liabilities in a prudent manner. Now, about the mega myths. The list is big enough, but because our attention span is small and short, I restrict myself to only 3 mega myths. I list them one by one. The first one is, as I know how to earn, and I do earn well also, so naturally I know how to manage money for today and tomorrow as well. Second mega myth is, as I earn a lot, I am definitely going to be rich. Third mega myth is, as I have lots of money, money can buy anything and everything. With my money, I will easily buy consultancy advice in personal finance. As simple as that. Dear colleagues, it is not what the faculty or speaker knows about the subject, but what the audience learns and retains when the session ends or when they leave the conference. That is more important. So I re-emphasize my myths in other words. Listen, I am doctor. I know money management well. That is first mega myth. Second is, I am doctor. I will be automatically rich. That is second mega myth. I am doctor. My money will buy money management. That is third mega myth. Let us crack this mega myths in money management. Dear colleagues, believe me, I am also one of you. At one stage of my life, I also held this mega myths in my mind, but I got rid of this. Fortunately, I got rid of this mega myths early in my career. Today, I request and I wish that all of you crack this mega myths, develop the right understandings, and start your journey, your investment journey to financial independence
that is to be reached as early as possible. Now we go with the myths one by one. The first one is, as I know how to earn money, I know how to manage. We have learned anesthesia, but we have not learned management skills, money management skills. The way anesthesia has definite knowledge domain, personal finance also has definite knowledge domain. There are subjects like financial mathematics, financial planning, risk management, risk insurance planning, goal-based investing, retirement planning, microeconomics, macroeconomics, behavioral economics, business management, and many more. But most vital and important amongst all this is time value of money. This is a concept in financial mathematics. Dr. Arun Mehra, the second speaker, will address this issue. Please listen him and develop the right understandings about time value of money. Now, don't get discouraged that we have not learned these skills. And usually, these money management skills are never taught at any level till one gets the knowledge of the skill set to earn the money, and one usually learns it on its own by doing the mistakes and suffering the losses. There is no need to remember the formulas or to read the huge textbooks. What we need to do is to explore the internet. There are so many learning portals and so many good financial calculators available online, free of cost. We need to explore them. We need to gather the information. We need to develop the knowledge and the wisdom for appropriate understandings in personal finance and correct concepts. With financial calculators, what we need or what we should know is how to define the inputs, how to interpret the outputs, how to use the variables in inputs for the desired outputs, or how to modify the inputs to get our desired output. This is all that is required with the financial calculators. Dear colleagues, believe me, I am one of you. If we can become anesthesia specialists, this is definitely not a rocket science. So this takes care of the first myth. We have learned anesthesia, we have not learned money management skills. We know how to earn, but we have to learn. We know how to earn money, but we have to learn how to manage money. Second mega myth. We have lived with an age-old formula. Whatever is our income, expenses are suspected. Whatever is left is saving. This is age-old formula. But it is not the quantum or amount of one earns, but it is what one retains that determines one's richness quotient. To emphasize my ideas, I read out the words of Warren Buffett, Oracle of Omaha, an investment guru known worldwide. He says, it is retention of the earned corpus and its right direction for its growth that decides one's richness quotient. Mark his words, he is not specifying the amount or quantum of the earnings, but he identifies the retention of the earned corpus. And second, its right direction for growth. That is how that money is invested, how it grows. These two issues will decide your richness quotient. So how do? We change our mindset. We change the old formula. Whatever is our income, first we take care of savings according to our saving strategy, according to our personal financial goals of our life. So out of income, first saving takes the precedence, and whatever is left is expenses. So we have to change our mindset. Because I earn a lot, because I am a doctor, I am not automatically going to be rich. I have to change my mindset. I have to change the formula. Income minus expenses is equal to savings. To new age formula. Income minus savings is equal to expenses. This takes care of second mega. Third one is, we believe we have lots of money. We'll pay somebody, chartered accountant, investment advisor, or anybody, and they will advise us and will follow it and will become rich. But dear colleagues, believe me, financial services and capital markets follow jungle laws of survival. Every animal, we ourselves need to save our skin. Because whatever personal finance products, investments, capital markets, shares, mutual funds, that is recommended to us, sold to us, or pushed to us, usually have inbuilt incentives or commissions for the person who recommends it, who pushes it, or who sells it to us. There is always a conflict of interest. And many times it happens that such products are recommended with an intention that it benefits more to the advisor or consultant rather than to us, the customer. What we need to do, we need to be well read, well informed and well prepared. Mukesh Ambani does not need to be specialist or expert or master in telecommunications, information technology, digital marketing, refinery or petrochemicals. But he definitely needs to be well read, well informed and well prepared to appreciate the appropriateness of the advice or consultancies given to him by his team, so that he can decide which one is more appropriate for his company's network value, its shareholders, its investors, and himself going forward in details. This is like buying a multi-parameter. We did not have a knowledge of a service in India, but we must know which is good for us, our patients, our hospital going forward in details. So to get rid of this database, one must be well informed to evaluate and identify the most appropriate course for oneself from the options offered by the consultants or advisors. Yes, colleagues, money can buy advice, money can buy consultancy, but money cannot buy the knowledge, wisdom that will help you to decide the appropriateness of the consultancy or the advice offered. This takes care of the third method. Now I am into the second half of my presentation. I will run a 2-minute short video of personal finance and independence. Dear colleagues, being rich right way may be a tough job, but it is definitely worth us.
Many times when we do our programs, we do talk about financial independence. And people come up and say, Mr. Kira, money is not important. And besides, money can't get you happiness. And besides, money is the root of all evils. Well, let's take one at a time. Who are the people who say money is not important? In my opinion, either they're stupid or they're billionaires. Look, I didn't say money is the most important thing, but money is very important because I learned one thing in my life, that money in good hands always does good, and money in evil hands always does evil. Now, let's look at the second part. You said money does not get you happiness. Well, let me ask you, does poverty get you happiness? Well, if I have to be unhappy, I would rather be unhappy with money than without money. Now, let's talk of, you said money is the root of all evils. Well, I don't think so. Money is only a medium of exchange. Money is a reward you give me when I provide you with goods and services. Now, the more goods and services I provide you, the more you reward me with money. What's wrong with that? Folks, money is wonderful. Keep in mind, money is food for the hungry. Money is medicine for the sick. Money is home for the homeless. Money is clothing for the needy. Money is wonderful. Look, it is not money that is the root of all evils. It is the love of money that is the root of all evils. Loving money using people, you got it wrong. Loving people using money, you got it right. Now, the important thing is, when we talk of in the pursuit of money, many times we lose our values and ethics. That is why it is said, making money is criminal, but earning money is spiritual. Wages without work amounts to stealing, so we need to earn money in an ethical manner. Now, sadly, many
Dear colleagues, earning money is definitely spiritual. We must start this journey as early as possible and we must reach as far as possible. I will read out another quote from James Collins, another authority in personal finance. He says, understanding money is critical. If you choose to master it, money becomes wonderful servant. If you don't, it will surely master it. Money can buy many things, none of which is more important than your financial independence. When in 1985 I joined anesthesia, I was told anesthesia is a dependent branch. 36 years have passed away. Whether that statement was true or false is a debatable issue. But we as anesthesiologists must have a dream from day one of our earnings. We must strive to become financially independent as early as possible. Dear colleagues, financial independence changes your life in anesthesia practice immensely. It takes away immense stress from your life. it definitely adds years to your life. Your compulsion goes away. Choice gets. You have a choice to decide with whom to work, how long to work, where to work, when to work, and with and what and which job to do. So basically, whenever compulsion goes away and choice gets in, that is financial independence, and it is definitely achievable. Simply develop a PDF mindset. Another acronym. Here, P stands for patience for compounding of investments to work. D stands for discipline, dedication to achieve the financial independence. And F stands for firm faith in the positive outcomes. So start this journey, have patience, let compounding take effect, let your investment grow, have continuous discipline and continuous dedication to achieve the financial independence, and have faith, positive outcomes. Financial independence is definitely achievable. In ending my session, I'll advise you to listen to Dr. Kumar sir. He'll guide you about this investment journey to financial independence in his last lecture. Before I end my session, I repeat my blog address rpsgajjar.wordpress.com. I usually write about personal finance, financial independence, retirement planning. I write purely for my personal pleasure with no business or commercial angles or no vested interest. Whatever I have written, if it is explored by my colleagues, if it is of some benefit or some use to my colleagues on their journey to financial independence, it will be a matter of pleasure for me. To end my session, I'll again run a 30-second short video of Shiv Khera. He advises to become rich enough, have money in good hands, and do wonderful things.
Money in good hands always does good, and money in evil hands always does evil. Well, become a multimillionaire and do good.
So I thank you all once again. This ends my session. Because I am doctor, I know how to manage money. It is a myth. We have to develop the knowledge set and develop the understanding. Because I am doctor, I am going to be rich automatically. There is a myth. We have to manage our earn money in a well manner to become rich. Because I am doctor, I can pay somebody and somebody will advise me. That is a myth. We have to develop the wisdom to appreciate the appropriateness of the advice given to us. Dear colleagues, becoming rich is a job which can never be outsourced. We have to do it ourselves. This ends my session. Thank you once again.
Over to you, Virendra sir, for next speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Gajjar sir. I've been reading some chats. Actually, he told this in the beginning that this talk was prepared for the ISACON, and it's a recorded video in his room, so that might be some echo and all you must have, but our next speaker is going to present it live now. So I hope the audio quality, which many of you are writing, would be better. One thing which Dr. Gajjar has stressed upon is that we all must understand one thing, that right from the beginning, if we develop a habit of saving, what he's saying, that earning, expenses, and whatever left is saving, and that too will decide when some ample amount will come in the bank. So that thinking should change. Especially, see, we have always been educating our practitioner colleagues who do not have a fixed income. The income is variable, there is no surety, there is no guarantee, there is no pension. So all those young practitioners, you might be earning well or average, whatever, please start habit of saving some minimum, maybe 5,000, 10,000 per month. And as he said, that time value of money, our third talk, you will come to know the duration plays a very important role in your savings to grow. So our next talk, Dr. Kumaresh, I have already introduced to you. You can do one thing. I'll request that if there are any queries, you please write in the chat box. We'll take up the question answers in the last, after all the three presentations. So over to Dr. Kumaresh, sir. A very interesting topic. See, all of you must listen it very carefully. It is transferring wealth to next generation. And he will tell us that what are the common mistakes we do and why such huge amount is lying in the banks unaccounted? Over to you, Dr. Kumresh, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
My
Clear.
screen is visible.
Yes, you are speaking.
Yeah. Respected President, ISA President, ISA Secretary, and ISA Treasurer, good afternoon. And all the members, good afternoon. At the outset, I thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. Without much ado, we will go on with the topic of transferring wealth to the next generation, that is estate transfer planning. Whenever I say a word estate planning, many mean that it is meant only for real estate. But no, it is for all, from SB account to real estate. It means all. So let us go on with the topic. Loss of loved ones causes the most emotional stress. To make the matter worse, if the family members cannot access the financial asset of the deceased, the dead person, often the emotional stress is unavoidable, but the financial stress can be avoided by proper estate transfer planning. So it's a disclaimer. In this presentation, it is for general recommendation only. Depending on the family dynamics, it can be changed. So we are strongly urged to take professional advice before taking these guidelines. Everybody says money is the root cause of all evil. Whenever there is asset, if a person dies, then the problem is there in all families. So we think money is the root cause of all evil. Most of the families will have the family tree like this only. That is, father, mother, they have got 2 or 3 kids of last generation, and now only there are only 2 kids or 1 kid in this generation. If one of the family member is dead, suppose the son is dead, then the assets should go to the next generation, we think, smoothly. But if it is so, all the LIC policy holders will have nominee's name. Then why this much amount is lying unclaimed in LIC policies or life insurance policies? Why 11,000 crores lying unclaimed in banks? And 76% of the family disputes occur regarding these assets, division of assets in the family, among the family members. All these problems, and totally now 84,000 crores lying idle without unclaimed. All these problems are because of lack of estate transfer planning. What is estate constitutes? Recurring deposits, gold investment schemes, PPF, fixed deposits, insurance policies, post office income schemes, mutual funds, bonds, stocks, real estate. All this home, all these constitutes our estate. What are all the tools that we have got for estate planning? These are all the tools we have got for estate transfer planning. First, we will say what happens if we don't do anything and die. That is known as intestate. If we don't doing anything, if we die means then we are dying intestate. Intestate, what happens if we die intestate, then the desired person may not get the wealth, or desired person may get only partial wealth, and lot of time may be consumed for the wealth to pass to the desired person because of litigations. Sometimes 40 to 60 years civil cases will be going on and without end. I know only 1 or 2 cases like Babri Masjid case and some other cases only. The justice has come. Rest 2 or 3 generations gone. So most may cost money for the legal has to claim the wealth. All this happens because of absence of estate transfer planning. Suppose a son in the family, in this family tree if this person dies, the money should smoothly transfer to next generation, no? But it's not. It is not. That depend on which religion the family is following. If he dies without writing, without doing any estate planning, then mostly we are Hindus. So mainly I will discuss about Hindus. So doing nothing or intestate dying means property will be inherited by his heirs in accordance with the law of succession. Suppose I'm a Hindu Succession Act 1956, which is applicable to Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and Sikhs. If a person is a Christian, Jew, or Parsi, then Indian Succession Act 1925 applies. If it is Muslim, means Muslim personal law. And in Muslim also, there are two laws, one for Sunnis and another for Shias. Hindu Succession Act, if a person die intestate, then the property devolves or goes to the next generation according to the class of legal heirs. There are 4 classes of legal heirs. Let us see in one by one. If son dies, then in this case, the property will be divided into 4 parts. That is, one for his widow wife, one for his daughter, and one for his son, and one for his mother. Mother is a class 1 legal heir. Father has got no role or no part, no share. This is according to Hindu Succession Act. Who are all the class 1 legal heirs? The widowed wife, son or daughter, and mother. See what happens. We generally want our wealth go to the next generation vertically, to my son, to my daughter, to my grandson, to my granddaughter. But here what happens? One part go to mother. If this kid's mother doesn't do any estate transfer planning after her death, then it will be divided into 4. One part will go to this son, this daughter, and this father. 4 parts. So what happens? Instead of vertical transmission of share, property, we want the horizontal transmission of assets happening. That's why there are so many litigations that is going on in the cases. That's why class 1 legal heirs are widow wife, son, daughter, and mother. For all class 2 legal heirs, if there is no class 1 legal heirs, then there is no mother, there is no son, no daughter, no grandchildren, no mother. Then the property will go to the second class 2 legal heirs. For all the father, brother, sister, parents, dead parent. If nobody is there, then it will go to agnates. That is, person should be related by blood or adoption through chain of male only link. Through the male only link, that are agnates. If nobody is there, then it will go to cognates. That is not only through males, that is females may also include it. If nobody is there, then the asset goes to the government, law of estate. So this is about legal heirs of a male. What about legal heirs of a female? Class 1 legal heir is husband, son, and daughter. Class 2 is legal heirs of husband. Class 3 is mother and father. Class 4 is legal heir of father. Class 5 is legal heir of mothers. So we are going to see how the estate planning tools can be used. Out of this, these 2 are free of cost if we do in our lifetime, and will cost hardly 5,000 to 15,000 rupees, and registration charge 5,000 rupees, 20,000. Creating a trust, hardly 2 lakh rupees, plus registration charge some 2.25 lakhs. this is the cost of doing these tools for estate transfer planning. First, we are going to see either or survivor account. Generally, we are having single account. What is either or survivor account means? In simple words, it's a method of giving someone control of an asset before death itself. See, it helped me in 2003. At the time, the bank worked between 10 to 2. And me and my wife had either or survivor account. My wife was doing postgraduate, and there's a chance a company sponsored a person, those who give bank pass for visa purposes, bank statement for past 1 year, they will be issued visa so that they can be taken for Singapore. At 12:30, I went there and I wrote, as my wife wants to go to Singapore for visa purposes, kindly give me bank statement. That bank person asked me, sir, it is your wife. You are asking for your wife, but you are signing. How is it possible? I told, sir, it is either or survivor account. Then he realized and gave me, and my wife went to Singapore to attend the conference. It was possible at that time in 2003. There we can have either a survivor account, SB account, savings bank, mutual funds, fixed deposits, real estate, post office, NSE, DMAT. All these things can have either or survivor account, joint holding. See, there are two holders and mode of holding is either or survivor. In mutual funds also, see, one holder is there and second holder is there. Mode of holding is anyone or survivor. Because in SB account or fixed deposits or mutual funds, 3 holders are allowed. That's why anyone or survivor. Those who survive, they can sign and get the money. That's why it is known as anyone or survivor. So next, after either or survivor account, we will go to nomination. This nomination is appointing a person entitled to receive the monies in case of death. So, what are the features of nomination? Nominee can act as a trustee, cannot enjoy full asset. That means what? We think if you put a person as nominee, he will get that asset. No, he should act as a trustee and he should divide this asset among the legal heirs. You can put me as your nominee. What happened? After your death, I have the power to get the asset, but I cannot enjoy that. I have to distribute the assets to your legal heirs. That is nominee. Nomination can be done either at the time of making the investment or entering the insurance contract, or subsequently at any time we can do nomination. And nomination can be modified any number of times, many number of times we can nominate. The most important point is, if the nominee is dead, it is as good as no nominee. Because when I started my bank account, the nominee name I might have given in my mother's name. My mother has passed away. I have not given any nominee name. That means what? The asset has got no nominee. No nominee. So this we have to take into account. See, in spite of either or survivor account, the nomination should be registered. The nomination should be registered. It can be changed any number of times. And see, in mutual funds also, anyone or survivor, see, there is nominee's name. So in spite of either or survivor account, nominee's name should be there. What is the next tool? That is will. What's a will? It's a legal declaration he desires to be carried in effect after his death. After his death. What are all the types of will? If you put condition in the will, suppose there are 2 sons. if one son has got seat in government medical college, that means he has saved 1.25 crores. So if second son is doing it, got a seat in government seat, means he will not get, two will get same thing. If he has spent 1.25 crores in private medical college, means the first son will get 1.25 crores extra. That's we have to put in condition in that will. That is conditional will. Joint will. That is spouses writing will together. Never ever do the mistake of writing a joint will, because after the death of one spouse or one person, that will cannot be changed. So many cases I have seen that after death of one person, anyway, the next generation know that they are going to get, so they will not take care of the living person, living father or mother. So please don't write joint will. Mirror will, that is another type of will. That is husband after his death writes everything in the name of wife. Wife writes everything in the name after his death in the name of his husband. That is mirror will. There are certain interesting cases in this. Suppose in Malaysian Airways that was crashed, no? In that, if husband and wife traveling dies in the crash, and Malaysian Airlines announces 5 crore rupee for each person. That means 10 crore rupee asset will go to whom? According to our FM book says that the person who is elder dies 1 second earlier than the younger person. So the younger person will enjoy that 10 crore rupees under legal hair.
વોલ્યુમ કીબોર્ડ ત્રણ ટકા આવે છે.
And sham will. Sham will means sometimes in certain families, the next generation son will ask money to do their business. Otherwise, they will tell they will run away or they will commit suicide. Like that, they will threaten. In order to prevent that, in front of them, they will write a will. After that, they will tell that it's a sham will. And the fifth type of will is oral will. Oral will is allowed only in Muslims. The second, when there is a military person in action. So in action, that's mean in war field, the oral will is allowed. Handwritten will is known as holographic will. Handwritten will is known as holographic will. Which is the ideal time to write a will means the day we have got any one of the assets, the day we have opened a savings bank account, that amount that we should write to whom it should go. So that's the ideal time to write a will. Okay, so what's the next ideal time to write a will is yesterday, because now, like our president, past president, Dr. Abdul Kalam, sir, I may have heart attack and I may die now. So I might have written my will yesterday. So we have lost 2 ideal times to write a will. So at least we should start prepare to write a will now. What are all the essential features of will? The person who writes a will should be 21 years. No need to write in stamper, court paper, typed. There's no such condition. That writing is plain paper is also acceptable. The only thing is it should be signed, and two witnesses should have signed that they don't need to write what it has written in the will, but the person who has signed is in this presence of witness. So there should be two witnesses, should be dated. Multiple changes are possible. That means you can rewrite the will any number of times, and registration is not mandatory. Registration is not mandatory, but recommended. What is this assignment of responsibility? According to Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act, there are three types of guardians for a minor. One is natural guardian. That is, father and mother of a kid is natural guardian. In case of their death due to corona or accident, then court will appoint the guardians. Who will go to court? There are two persons who are interested in our assets. One is creditors, next one is predators. Creditors are generally the loan given company, personal loan, car loan, home loan, all the loan given company. And second is predators. Predators are generally our close disgruntled relatives. They will go to court and get the guardianship and enjoy the property. So, in order to avoid that, we can appoint a guardian. That's known as third type is testamentary guardian in will itself. That is afterward that you will come now testamentary guardian. How to select a testamentary guardian? Close your eyes for 5 minutes. Think that if I and my wife is dead, who will take care of our kids? Very good. If the person comes to your mind, he is the testamentary guardian. Okay, we are selected, but it's very difficult to the spouse of the testamentary guardian should have to accept that. We have to get consent, because it's not like leaving a kid for 2 or 3 days. It's for the next lifelong, no? So we have to take care very much. We have to get consent from the spouse of the testamentary guardian. It's very difficult, no? How to get that? You have to give reciprocal testamentary guardianship. That is, we have to put agreement that in our absence, me and my wife, you please take care of our kids, and in your absence, we will take care of your kids. Reciprocal testamentary guardianship, that we can try. That is testamentary guardianship. Is hiring of a lawyer is recommended? Yes, when there is complicated situation, interreligious marriage, and whenever there is need of a professional wedding, to avoid confusions, hiring of lawyer is highly recommended. What all the registration is not required, not mandatory, but highly recommended, because some authorities demand registered will. Trust is high. Challenging is a bit difficult in registered will. In some areas, transfer of property, maybe fees, maybe 4%. We can avoid that. So then last, we are having trust. What is this? This is a settler, this is a beneficiary. A trustee will act in fiduciary services. They will act for these beneficiaries. There will be trust deed, trust property, benefit of interest should be there. And there are private family trusts are created to protect our assets. So many litigations are going on towards doctors. If the court compensation is very high if the professional indemnity we are having around 1 to 2 crores. If court use in litigation, if they ask me pay 10 crore, if I don't pay, then our assets will get attached, except public provident fund and the life insurance that is not that is in Married Property Women's Act. Except these two, all the properties will get attached. So to avoid that, we have to protect our asset. By asset protection trust we can create, because we are having high litigations nowadays. So highly recommended. What are all the types of trust? Revocable. It can be cancelled by a settlor in any time. Irrevocable. It cannot be cancelled. Discretion according to the trustee. It is determinate or combination of above. These are all the types of trust. So trust or will, which we can try. Are you disinheriting a family member? Because we have seen in so many films that son or daughter married goes for love marriage, and the hero says that they are not going to give any assets or property to that person. If you are writing a will, means they will challenge after our death. They will challenge in court that it's not written by them. It is unfair done to them. So, are you disinheriting a family member? If yes, then trust is the ideal thing, because here beneficiaries share is defined in percentage. If our legal heirs are minors, then minor benefit protection assets can be created. Does anyone rely on your financial support? Anyone rely on you as a financial support? Then trust should be created. Sometimes a special child may be there in a family. So, in order to give protection for that kid, we have to create special child protection trust. If nothing is complicated, then will is probably the best option. If there is one complication like special child, minor heir, disinheriting a family member, or asset protection, then the best is creating a trust. Then what is legacy? It is the amount of money or property left to someone as a will. We have got so many amounts in fixed deposits. What is the tax treatment? It is fully taxable. What is mean by that? 30% taxable if our income is more than 10 lakhs. So every year we get interest and we have to pay 30% tax. Is there any way, because it's a legacy money, how to make it tax efficient, how to make it tax deferment for lifetime? So if you keep in fixed deposits, every year we have to pay tax 30% irrespective whether we take money out or not. So is there any solution? Yes, there is a solution in mutual funds. There are two types of mutual funds. One is investing in shares, another investing in bonds. Bonds is debt. We are giving loan. Who is the highest loan getting from people? The government of India. They are issuing government of India bonds. So we are investing in bonds of government of India. That is debt. Government is getting loan from us. And hybrid is a mixture of equity and debt. What I suggest is no need to take any risk. Equity, up and down, all those things will be there. Just invest in debt mutual funds. What's the taxation aspect? Taxation aspect of debt mutual funds, because it's like an asset, like a real estate asset. If you sell real estate, only the capital gains are going to arise. If you are not going to sell anything, then there's no such thing called capital gains. So it is considered as an asset. Instead of putting in fixed deposits, put in debt mutual funds. So what are the advantages? Tax amount need not be paid till it is taken out. So compounding of tax amount paid, that compounding will occur. And if you take money for lifetime, you are not going to pay tax at all. And even if you take some amount, if you want, we can withdraw at any time. At the time also, 20% after indexation means 7 to 8% tax only will come for the gains, not for the total amount. And there is no TDS. These are all advantages of debt mutual funds. So every year, we are not going to pay 20% tax on the interest means, and says surcharge are there. So we can avoid 33% better lifestyle by simply investing in debt mutual funds instead of fixed deposits. So for a client of mine, we have created a structure. He has got 5 crores in fixed deposits. So we have taken 2 crores out from the fixed deposits. This father is a surgeon. He is 87-year-old. We are invested in debt funds. We have put his name as first holder. Second holder, we have put this son's name. And third holder, we have put as granddaughter name. And nominee, this daughter-in-law. So we can put 3 holders and 1 nominee. Because she is a minor, we have not included. So after the death of this father, what will happen means this son will become first holder. The second holder will become first holder, and the third holder become the second holder. And after the death of this son, this granddaughter will become the first holder, and she can change the nominee of this her mother. So if she is also not going to take the money out, means for 3 generations, we can defer the tax. We can defer the tax. So like that, we can save lot of money. Around 140 lakh crore money is lying in fixed deposits. So every year, the affluents are paying taxes on fixed deposits. So the myth is money is not the root cause of all evil. No, as Rajinikanth sir Bijars, that video of Shivagara told, love for money is the root cause of all evil. We should teach our next generation art of giving. See, Asim Premji, he has given, he is the 5th biggest donor in the world, Wipro chairman. So we must teach our kids the art of giving to the next generation. So what we can do, action time. Today after this meet is maintain physical record of all investments along with contact details of respective financial instruments. Write all the logins, password, email ID, and the password physically in a place. Keep original documents, PAN card, Aadhaar card in a single place. Convert your single account into either a survivor account. Check nomination in all accounts, because every year we have to check nomination. The nominee name, the nominee should be alive. Otherwise, there is no nomination. Figure out our legal hairs, create a will and get it registered. Inform your family members about the will. In case of personal doubt, you can contact me. Thank you for your valuable time, and thank you very much. Happy to answer your queries. Over to you, sir.
You can stop sharing your screen, sir.
Yeah.
Well, the only word I can use is excellent. In fact, the topic is really very good, and I can 100% say that majority of us, very few of us might be having this much of knowledge. You must have gone through a lot, and we are really thankful to you for educating us on this very essential aspect. I mean, this is one thing which majority of us think. Like, I feel I'm 50 years, still I'm yet to live for up to 70, 75 years. Why to get involved into all these things? But this COVID has taught a lesson to all. You know, many of the cases, the parents died of COVID, and still cases in court are going on. You don't write a registered will, you don't nominate. And one important thing I'll tell you, this PPF, huge amount is there, but if nominee is not there, see, in other cases, the branch, the bank manager can have a consideration. But in PPF, there is no consideration. You have to go to the court, and Kumresh sir, will you believe it, in UP, you have to pay 7% of the total amount. Can you believe? Whatever assets you want a successor certificate, whether it is your house, the money in the bank, the PPF, the total amount of money which you have to deposit in the court is 7% of the total cost, estimated as per today's valuation. That is a huge amount. So this mistake everyone should avoid. Do not believe that nothing will happen to me. I know each one of us feels that at present I'm fit and fine, I'm so healthy, nothing is going to happen. But think of your successors. See what COVID has taught us. Who knew in COVID? So many have lost life, but their heirs are struggling in the court. Cases are going on. Indirectly or indirect relatives, they interfere. They make false petitions. Avoid all these things. And I know there will be hundreds of questions, but for those who are in the ISA Financial Advisor Group, we can continue our discussion there. Dr. Kumresh sir is there. And for those who are not there, we will take it at the end. But before we go to the third speaker, I can see my president, whom I've been waiting, President ISA, Dr. Venkat Giri. And I'm not able to see the secretary, sir. He was busy during inauguration, and many of the other dignitaries, the governing council members and past presidents, they might have joined a little late. So before we go to the third speaker, may I request our President, Dr. Venkatagiri sir, to say a few words about the activities of this financial cell webinar and our experts, Kumresh sir, Dajjal sir. Please, sir, Venkatagiri sir.
Thank you, Virender. I was 5-10 minutes late. By the time I logged in, it was 2:15, and first speaker was giving us talk. It was really informative. First, Kumresh also. This was what I was saying from the day one of my prevention, that financial planning, and every ISA meeting, we should have talk on financial planning and investment, how to keep our assets, what, because that is more required. Classes, these scientific classes, anybody takes and all, but nobody takes classes on this. Even though people are not that interested, that is what I am worried, because you can get the things, your books and otherwise you can learn from others, but not these things. Even for myself, I was telling Kumresh the other day that how much I was there in my SB or FD and all, where I have to put that and all, my salary, there's the treasury and all. So that's a very poor plan. If I had heard earlier and all, I should have stopped my practice, and the same money I could have lived royally now. No practice, only ISA work, I could have done that. No need of what I've earned so far would have been sufficient, but not the planning, we do not. Because we are more conservative, and from that I'm thinking of only FD. But now FD is giving only 4% or 5%, then minus 30% tax. It is negligible. So I did not keep an FD. I thought SB is better. Why to go to the FD? And these are things. Or then thinking of that, okay, yesterday even somebody came and asked me that, okay, where to put, sometime I have put in government bonds and all for short term till the son's next fees comes. See, next that I have to pay in the month of June. Till that time, whatever earning little month, what we have to, see, that all we have to know that. Somebody came and told on finance, doctor, you don't put in that SB and all, because monthly you are getting, you put in this investment, okay, you want in the month of June to pay the fees. Yes, that MBBS fees is 10 lakhs. So 10 lakh you pay every month 1 lakh. Don't put in SB and don't get any interest. You put this, you make it. These are things we have to know that, because that's a fixed every year, and next 3 years I have to pay that his fees. So where I have to keep these things, we are interested in. Our people also should know that, more and more people. So where we have to keep, how we have to keep, even our earning. Because other day I was attending chest physician's class. They were telling alternate legal source of income. I was telling that what is the income? Because as Kumresh or other were telling, because the practice is not fixed and permanent, because number of anesthetists are increasing. same practice will not sustain long term because our practice are fag and new practitioners, they should think that how to get from where, what are other sources, whether we have to put in real estate or put in somewhere, get income, how much if there, how much you have to put in real estate, how much in land, how much in property. These things we have to, it's not one day, one seminar or webinar will not, but going on continuously. I think my successor, next president also will take up and continue this thing. Virendra is there, I am there anyway, but we should make that every ISA meeting or CMA, we should have one talk compulsorily on financial management. I'm speaking, all are not good speakers. There are some, we should have. Then only we can have that. Our members should know that. Because I think nearly 60% of the members are practitioners. The fixed income are very few who don't practice because the government job or medical college job, or even medical college, somebody other day told that, sir, we are giving less salary because we are allowed to private practice. Now that is also taken because of the DA, DNB has started. Then they are getting cheap labor and all. So our practice will be nowhere. These are the future things which we have to think. So anyway, I congratulate Virendra with not only PPF, everyone should know that and attend these classes and make useful, because this Sunday after, I see only 125 people. Should have been good number of people attending that. They should know that how we get, what we have to do, how we have to do. That is more important. Anyway, congratulate PPF for that and hope that we will have, because it's not one day, we will have when speakers are free. Sometimes again, we will have one more session and other time. And Virendra, I request you also to pressurize and keep one session in the main during our national conference in Shillong. Let us start that. And that financial planning and this thing we should have in the main session, not in the sub-session small halls. That is what everybody should know that. Let us insist, because that is not finalized yet. We should make that. That should be our idea, and more people know that. Because knowing is more important. We should have that. Thank you. And I am hearing, though I have not put the video with the, I was doing some work of the SAR Congress in between and doing that. Thank you. And we will read the other here next speakers also. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Venkatgiri ji. So let me inform the members. Actually, the three topics initially what we planned, Dr. Komaresh sir was also about to speak on this financial planning only. But seeing the importance of this state transfer, I think, see, financial planning, one can read from here and there, but this state planning, sir, I must tell you, you must have read a lot of literature to come out with such beautiful slides. So I think it was worth having two sessions on two speakers on financial planning, and yours was really eye-opener to majority of us. So before we go to the question and answers, we have a lot of time for that, and we'll divide it. I know your topic, many have been writing in the chits, even Dr. Gajjar's. So in continuation with Dr. Gajjar, what I emphasized about the mega myths, I mean the common mistakes which we doctors feel that we are anesthesiologists, this and that. And so he clarified the doubts and emphasized upon the habit of saving right from day one. Now, our third speaker, Dr. Arun Mehra, I've already introduced him to all of you. He will be emphasizing on the time value of money. It is not only investment, but the time is also very important. It has a huge impact on your earnings from whatever you are investing. So time is really very important. And over to Dr. Arun sir for your, you can start sharing the screen.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm getting host disabled participant screen sharing. So
okay, Dr. Gajjar sir, can you share, sir, or Dr. Komaresh, his presentation?
Okay, I can share his presentation.
Yeah, he is not the co-host. Yes, I can see.
Yeah, and before we start that, I'll just add a few words. Sir, you can please start my.
Let him start sharing this. You can continue speaking.
Yes. You please start. Okay. First of all, I must thank both my previous speakers, Dr. Rajnikant and Dr. Komaresh, for the excellent topics they have and the excellent way they have put it across, actually, and especially with Dr. Komaresh coming up with a topic which was not covered in last year's ISACON. Well, we had a lot more to learn. I have one request for our Honorable President, Dr. Venkatagiri. Sir, as you pointed out that none of us knows much about finance, I have found that we are in a similar situation in law and ethics also. And doctors are really in a big soup, not because they commit mischief, but because they are simply ignorant about these things. So my request is that we have a regular session on law and ethics also in all future conferences. In many states, like my own state in Delhi, it's in fact mandatory from the Delhi Medical Council in order to get the credit hours for that. Anyway, coming back to the topic, as my previous speakers have mentioned, they have covered very practical aspects. Now, my own presentation is also just a recording of what I had spoken in the Ahmedabad ISACON. The basic idea behind time value of money is that the longer, as our friend Dr. Virendra has pointed out, start saving from day one, because the longer, it's basically a matter of timing and patience. The longer you save, the more it compounds. And that is what the time value of money is all about. And we can start the video, and the various aspects will be discussed. So, sir, could I request you to please start?
As my good friend Dr. Rajnikant has told you, doctors have to understand about money, they have to understand about finances, which is something unfortunately most doctors have no idea about. And there are too many misconceptions about money, there are too many misconceptions about finance, and our aim today is to try to help you understand the basics. We can't possibly cover it all in 1 hour, but we just want to try to help you understand what all you have to learn. So I'll start with a few basic concepts. First of all, financial management, like any other kind of management, it is the management of your financial status. And what is the goal of financial management? You have to maximize the value of whatever you have, meaning that you have to get the best out of it that you can. Now, there was an interesting quote that I found: financial success, as well as most success in life, is not about perfection, it's about direction. So what you must understand, you already know it, of course, is that if you have a direction, if you know what you have to do, then of course you have greater chances of success. Unfortunately, doctors don't even have a sense of direction when it comes to finance. So that's our aim today, try to help you with that. Now, there are some basic concepts I'd like to discuss before we go on to the time value of money. And the first is what we call cash. The cash or cash equivalent that you have. Cash equivalent could be the money in your bank account or any other form of assets that you have, which are measurable. And the cash flow is what you are receiving and what you are giving away. Credit and debit, you could say. It can be from operations, from investing, from financing, from a number of sources. Now, how is cash flow related to value? You must understand that these two terms have different meanings. Value is determined by the ability to generate positive cash flows. Positive cash flows means that after some particular operation, you have more cash than you had when you started it. If you invest 10 rupees and get 12 rupees, so that's a positive cash flow. And that is an addition of value. If you're left with, say, 7 rupees, then that is a negative cash flow and your value has declined. Now, what is a cash flow statement? It's a financial statement that reports sources and uses of cash. That's simple enough. How does net cash flow differ from accounting profile? This is very important. Cash flow is basically the coming and going of money. But there are a number of expenses and a number of gains also, which do not directly come into your books. They are revenues and expenses that are not paid for in cash. These are called the non-cash charges. The best example of that is, of course, depreciation. You have a car, you have a refrigerator. You know that over 5 years, its value decreases. That becomes a kind of negative cash flow, but it's not recorded in your books. I'll now come to the main topic of my discussion, which is the time value of money. You must understand that time value of money is a concept, that an amount of money you have in your hand is worth more now than it will be at a future time. Try to understand it this way. Supposing you have to get 100 rupees, you get that 100 rupees today. Now, supposing you get that 100 rupees after 1 week. For that 1 week, of course, there might have been inflation, there might have been depreciation of the currency, there might have been any number of things which can reduce the purchasing power. Yes, a week is a short time. Usually these things take longer. But the point we really want to emphasize here is that if you get that money today, it's worth more than it will be 7 days from now. To put it quite simply, you can do a lot of things with that money. You could buy land with it, which would cost more a week later. You could buy gadgets with it. You could actually invest that money into something with positive returns, even into a savings account where it will earn you some interest. So that is why we say that the earlier you have the money in your hand, the more value it has. This is a concept that's unfortunately not very well understood, but it's something that you really have to know. Now, what is the significance of time value of money? You can understand that if you want to increase the value of your money, then of course you have to invest it, you have to do various kinds of things with it. And the earlier you get it, you see, this time value of money helps you take decisions which will help you ultimately in increasing the value of the money that you have. I gave you the simplest example. You take 100 rupees and you put them into the bank today. Even if by a minuscule amount, a week later, you will have earned some interest on it, which means that the value will be more at that point of time than it is today. So this concept of the time value of money, which is not very well understood, is the basis of taking decisions. In fact, it's a very important concept for financiers and for those who do financial analysis and in business. It's one of the core concepts on which financial decisions are taken. What is time value analysis? The concept of the time value guides investment decisions. Investors prefer to receive money today. I've already explained this to you. Money once invested will give you better returns, and that's what is done in the business world. They analyze the different opportunities in investment to try to see which will get them the best returns. Now, there's a very closely related concept that's called the opportunity cost. That's in a future slide, in a slide coming up in a while. I'll just come to that.
Has the video got stuck?
Sir, screen is not moving.
Oh,
I think Gajar sir's net is not.
if you make me a co-host, I'll myself or Dr. Kumaresh, I think you also have this. Do you have it? Then you might like to share it.
He has to First he has to stop share now, sir. Then only I can share, I think.
Okay, I've got it on my computer. If I can be made a co-host, I will take it from here. Dr. Virendra, sir.
I think you have made co-host.
Now you are the co-host.
Okay, sure. Right. Just a second. Just a second. Just a second.
Dr. Arun Mehra, your host, you can share the slides.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Great. बाहर करें अंदर करनी
Yeah, share. Just a second. Just a second.
All by that time, Dr. Arun Mehra takes care of his slides. I convey greetings from ISA National Headquarters. I am Dr. Naveen Malhotra, your own secretary, ISA National, and I bring with myself greetings from UI ISACON Delhi also. Right now, I am at Dr. Arun Mehra's city, and Dr. Rajiv Gupta, our GC member, is also has organized this UI ISACON Delhi, first conference of UI ISACON. I congratulate Dr. Gajjar, Dr. Kumresh for the excellent talks, and I can tell you personally, sir, we all are benefited by your experience and your wisdom. And it's my personal request to you also that please keep on sharing your knowledge and wisdom throughout our lives, and so that we can do proper financial planning. And this ISA advisor session, which was started 4 years ago, the aim was to ensure that the anesthesiologists have got a legal source of second income. And I'm thankful to Dr. Virendra Sharma for the program head of this ISA financial advisor session for coordinating different events and managing the WhatsApp group and arranging for today's webinar also. So I convey my greetings and congratulations to all of you. And I'm very sure that it will be very, very valuable to all of you. And thank you, Dr. Virendra, for inviting me here. And I convey my best wishes to all. Long live ISA, Jai ISCN, Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Naveen. I know it's a very busy schedule you are simultaneously coordinating, but yes, you and our president and others. And thank you for sparing time and speaking to members here. Dr. Arun, is your presentation now ready?
Yes, it's ready. It is ready. We were on slide 10. Let's start from here. And Dr. Naveen, sir, I hope you are there for the rest of the day, because I will be joining you. I'll be coming for the UVACON as soon as this is over. I hope you are still there till the evening.
Yes, sir. We'll have some time together, and I'll love to interact.
Sure, sir. Sure. Yeah, let's continue from here. Business product. So the amount that you
Dr. Arun, your voice is, I'm not able to hear the voice.
So this payback taken the shorter.
Problem with my laptop or others can hear? Dr. Kumresh, can you hear? Is
Not audible, sir.
No, sir, I can't hear.
Just a minute. Just give me a minute, please.
Yes.
Are we getting the audio or not?
No, audio is not there. You can see your slides.
Okay, because I was able to hear it. Let me just.
You are audible, sir, now.
I'm audible, but is my video audible?
No.
No.
First start the video, na?
Is Dr. Rajnikant back? Has he got a connection? Then he can continue the thing.
What happened? Dr. Kumre sir, you have his presentation. I think you have it on your laptop. Please share it. Yeah, it's there. Please
Yeah,
play
we have to proceed from slide number.
Yeah, 10. I remember. Slide number 10. Dr. Kumre sir, please play that. Actually, all this confusion because Dr. Arun was very busy.
Is it okay, sir?
No, it's not opening. You start that video, na?
Is it not sharing?
No, not sharing.
Dr. Rajnikant has sent a message that he's ready.
We were discussing about the internal and external rates of return. The internal and extended internal rates of return.
Please share it screen, sir.
Ganjar sir, slide number 10.
From slide number 10, sir.
Okay.
Devices. And here is where you can get.
But I should be made host. What is the
methods for calculating the time value.
Dr. Ganjar is not the host. I'll make you.
With the help of a simple handheld calculator.
Make host.
Is something.
Yes. So now you are the co-host, sir. Ganjar sir.
Okay. Play Store. It's available.
Sorry to the members. Actually, Dr. Arun was supposed to be participating in the YuvaCon, and simultaneously because he was one of our speakers during national conference, so we decided to continue with him. He could spare time, but all these problems just because of that. I think that now the screen is there, and please move it forward to slide number 10. 10, yes.
Yes, sir, you can play it, sir. Slide number 10, sir. So we are on slide 10, sir.
Okay. Please play the video, sir. But again, audio is not coming. What happened to the audio?
Or Dr. Virendra, sir, we can do one thing.
You read it.
Let the video continue. I'll speak
yeah.
live.
Yeah, please.
Okay, then coming to related terms, payback period is the time it takes to recover the cost of an investment. These are just definitions. Low system resources may affect your audio quality. Try closing some applications. Can I request everybody to switch off their videos, because, I mean, I don't know the technical details, of course, but it has to do with bandwidth, and maybe the audio can become better with that. Sir, could you please continue the sharing the, could you please move the
video? Should I play the video?
And I'll speak from here itself, sir.
Because what you get after that will be return. It will be the income money. Initially, you're just getting your money back. So this payback period, the shorter it is, the better it is for you. Then cumulative interest is the total.
Okay, cumulative interest is the sum of all interest payments made on a loan over a certain time period. Again, that is just a definition. Continuous compounding, I'm sure we have all studied about compound and simple interest at school. It is the process of calculating interest and reinvesting it into an account's balance over an infinite number of periods. So basically, that is all something we studied in arithmetic at school. And as soon as we get to the next slide, I'll speak on that.
Is that in this video, that speaker is muted. It is a cross which is showing in the audio.
Okay.
If you see on the left side, there is a cross. Audio is muted in your presentation.
Dr. Gajjar sir, can you just unmute it?
Yeah, just give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Friends, I'm really sorry about this. Actually, I had to go for the YuvaCon, and I could not have shared
The
value of the project's cost. Today, you decide I want to invest this amount of money, and you say, okay, I'll get this. Sir, one request, can you go back to slide 10 itself, because that was discontinued in the middle, and from there we'll continue, sir.
Okay, okay.
% on that 105, which will work out to how much?
Is this fine? Should I continue from this?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Slightly more than that. So that will work out to about, slightly more. You'll get, in one case, you'll get 110 rupees on simple interest, but with compound interest, you'll get a slightly bigger amount. So obviously, compound interest and compounding are very essential, crucial factors. Then net present value. The difference between the present value of cash inflows and the value of cash outflows over a period of time. Please try to understand this concept. Here we consider what is the intake. It's basically simple arithmetic. Output minus intake. Real rate of return, however, is the annual percentage of profit earned on an investment adjusted for inflation. So in the net present value, we are just looking at the simple amounts, whereas we make other kinds of adjustments for the real rate of return. So one is simple arithmetic, but the other, it just takes numbers into account, the net present value. But the real rate of interest takes other factors into account. I beg your pardon. Yeah. Now, internal rate of return, sorry. Internal rate of return is a value that estimates the present value of a project's expected cash flows, the present value of the project's cost. Today, you decide I want to invest this amount of money, and you say, okay, I'll get this amount of return on it. That is the internal rate of return. It assesses the attractiveness of an investment opportunity, of course. But there is something called the extended internal rate of return. And this takes into account the value of the money when it actually comes to you. Because in the internal rate of return, you are simply considering the value in its present form, and you are calculating the difference. But what will be the actual purchasing power at that point of time? And all these other factors are also taken into account here. Both of these are can be calculated on Excel. They are on Microsoft Excel. You can see them by spreadsheets. Yes, opportunity cost. I seem to have missed this slide in the middle. I wanted to tell you about it. Opportunity cost is a very important term that's related again to the time value of money. It's more in economics than in finance. Basically, the idea here is you have two options. You want to invest in option A, you want to invest in option B. Now, if you invest in option A, you invest say 100 rupees in option A and you see that the return you are getting will be X amount. Or in option B, you invest 100 rupees and the return you get is the Y amount. Now, while investing in A, you are foregoing the potential Y amount you could have earned from B. While investing in B, you are foregoing the potential X amount you could have earned from A. So basically, you have to see which of these gives you the better return. The opportunity cost is the cost that you are foregoing. I'll try to explain this with an example. Suppose you want to eat a samosa or you want to eat a gulab jamun. Now, you'll enjoy eating either of these things. Of course, watch out for weight, of course. So, would you forego the pleasure of a gulab jamun for a samosa or the pleasure of a samosa for a gulab jamun? This is what opportunity cost is all about. And in finance, you have to see which is the better return. I'm sorry, this slide somehow got skipped, and this is what I really wanted to emphasize at one point. Present value and future value. Present value is the amount of money that must be invested to achieve a future goal, which is the future value. So that future value, you can mutually calculate them. If you have a certain amount of money and you invest it, say you have 1,000 rupees, and through investment or through various kinds of means, whatever means you use, supposing you have 1,600 rupees after say 2 years, then the future value is 1,600, whereas the present value is 1,000, and reciprocally this can also be calculated. Payback period, internal rate of return, yes. Sorry, I had skipped that slide somehow. Now, coming back to what we were discussing about the internal and external rates of return. The internal and extended internal rates of return, they can be calculated by a formula. You don't have to go into this, and I'll not encourage you to get too much into it because it's all available on various devices. And here is where you can get them. Commonly used methods for calculating the time value of money could be numerically solving it with the help of a simple handheld calculator or a financial calculator. This is something you can download from Google Play Store. It's available everywhere. You can get it onto your mobile phone, or else, of course, Microsoft Excel is always there, and spreadsheet on your computer. This uses various different methods, so we don't have to go into all the different methodologies that can be used. They're all there. So in conclusion, I'd just like to say that the American investment guru, Robert Kiyosaki, the Japanese American gentleman, he says skills make you rich and not theories. So from here, I'd like to hand it over to my good friend, Dr.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Arun, and I'm sorry to the members for the glitch which we had.
I would also like to apologize to everybody for this.
But it all happens. See, these are not in our hands. Online programs, sometimes things do happen. But in short, I would like to say that, see, this time value means what I've been telling my junior colleagues, Like suppose you start settling around 32, 35 years of age. So I said, look, at my time, there was no one to tell me. I started my investment in 2017. Once that PPF Financial Group was created, it was just that at that time PPF IAS National Group started and we were discussing about practitioner forms and all. Someone pointed out and we made it, and Dr. Komaresh, Dr. Gajjar and all, they taught us. See, one simple question from Dr. Komaresh to me, when I asked him, sir, this I am telling for the knowledge of majority who are attending. When people ask, sir, which mutual fund should I invest? Please tell me the best fund and all. So I am answering to all of you. Please listen carefully. So he asked me, what is your goal? I said, what do you mean? Well, what is your planning? Say, suppose you expect that till what age you are going to work? So I said, maybe 60. Okay, then at 60 today, what are your expenses? Monthly expenses? How many kids you have? What will be their education cost? What will be the cost of the marriage? And he gave me a chart. I have that chart. If members would wish, I'll share with them. And I wrote on that page and send it to Dr. Komaresh. And he sent it back to me. Okay, this is the corpus you will be requiring. And I said, how to get this corpus? So he said, you have to invest. Now, because I was too late, so the amount needed to be investment became very high. But then I made it a point, okay, that mistake was done by me because, as I said, there was no one to guide me. So I have to compensate for that. I have to take it for this, that after 58, 60, I won't be working that much. And I must have that much of corpus so that daily livelihood and all these things, all must understand and plan. See, at young age, you start running here and there, 24 hours you are earning. And as you get money in your banks, then you start thinking of costly vehicles and investment, real estate, a lavish house and vacations. Nobody plans all these things, but it's as equally important as anything. In fact, it is one of the most important things to decide saving right from day one. We have been emphasizing it since we opened this. Initially was PPF Financial, then later on made it ISA Financial. So the time value, the real time value is, if I would have started 20,000 at the age of 35 years, I started with 70 at the age of 50, I cannot match that person who started 10 or 20,000. Because it is the duration which plays a lot of role, and that is what he was trying to explain in his presentation, the formula of compounding. Simple terms, what he was mentioning was, many of you who have been investing into mutual funds, you see on the app, okay, this is your CAGR, this is absolute return, this is XIRR. So basically, these are terms nowadays, everything is available on the apps and all. CAGR is annualized return. XIRR means that for mutual funds, suppose I start in the month of October, so that will give me an exact return. I shall not be disappointed that for 3 months this was not counted and my CAGR is coming too less and I get dejected. I try to change my funds and all. So these things. Before we go to the other things, my colleague, Dr. Pankaj Gupta, requested me that he wants to share. He did a survey, all of you must be knowing, and he wanted to share the financial aspect of that survey. I think approximately 2,000 members. Dr. Pankaj, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I audible to everyone?
They responded to the queries, and it's an interesting thing. So I would request him to share that aspect, what feedback he has got from that survey regarding the financial aspect. Dr. Pankaj, sir, you can start.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, everyone. I feel
you are there as panelist. You want a screen? I can make you go.
No. I don't want to screen. I'll just talk. No problem. I'll just vent a few lines. What I think. I feel the PPF movement, which started 6 years back, me and Virendra took over. I feel one very important thing which we always thought was investments for us are very, very important to have financial freedom. Each one of us should have the liberty of refusing a case if they are not comfortable working with that surgeon, And that comes to us only after we are comfortable financially. Otherwise, we tend to compromise. We tend to take too many cases in the day. We tend to work at peanuts from the surgeons. That's why this financial freedom is one of the very important things when this PPF movement started. I thought we should really go into depth of it, and all of us should know. Most of us are very poor planners as anesthetists because time is not in our hands. We are usually running around. And that's why what we started 6 years back under the banner of PPF, fortunately, even ISA took cognizance and it was then converted into the ISA Financial Advisor and the ISA Stocks Group. Regarding this survey that Virubhai mentioned, I had put up a question. How many of us are very happy with the remuneration that they received professionally? Only 6.7% of the around 1,600 members have so far given taken part in the survey. Only 6.7% said they are extremely happy in the remuneration that they receive, and 88% of them thought that an alternate source of income is very, very important for every private practitioner. 88%. 6% of them thought maybe, and probably only those 6% who said they are very happy mentioned that no, they don't find that an alternate source of income. Now see, this survey is still ongoing. I still have to, I'm waiting for around 2,000 replies, because only after that it becomes, really more and more authentic. Right now about 1,660 or so have taken this survey. Regarding investments, Dr. Kumaresh sir will be very unhappy to know that even today, 46.8% have FDs in banks. In spite of we discussing so much on the group, 46.8% responded that they still believe in FDs in banks. Kumaresh sir has on the group discussed so many times that FD is one of the worst investments that we can do. So I feel we still have to reach more and more people. And of course, now that the group has increased, this is an eye-opener for me, even for me. Stocks, about 48% are invested in stocks. Stocks group also has become quite active now. There are more than 450 members there. Mutual funds, yes, 70% said they are with mutual funds. So maybe Dr. Kumaresh sir would be happy to know that 70% definitely are into mutual funds, even though this 46% are in still in FDs. Regarding real estate, about 30% are believe a lot in real estate. So this was what I found in the survey. So that's why I feel this balance of everything is very important. Probably something like, everyone would have his own different risk criteria, and there is a proper criteria to decide at what age how much money should be in stocks and how much should be in mutual funds, how much should be safe in FDs and how much in estates, real estate. So this is a good brain teaser for all of us. I'm sure Dr. Kumaresh sir would like to comment after listening to what I have mentioned in the survey. Please, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm 49-year-old. I'm retired rich.
Great.
I no need to practice for next 100 years. That's the topic that I'm talking now. How I retired rich.
Right, sir. So what is the percentage? The percentage of investments is important, sir. How have you invested yourself?
I'm first generation doctor. My father is a bank clerk. So I'm the first generation doctor. So how much is enough for retirement? I searched for that and I found out that for 1 lakh expense per month, inflation beaten for next 52 years, if you calculate that, if I have got 2.4 crores, then I can retire. 2 crores is enough to retire rich. So if because I need to show an Excel sheet, one calculator to show that how these 2 crores is enough to get retired. If you have got 2 crores, around 36 lakhs in liquid funds, 34 lakhs in debt funds, and 32 lakhs in dynamic asset allocation fund, and 1 crore in equities, that's done. We no need to worry about our next 52 years, my cash flow. 1 lakh inflation beaten cash flow is done. If time permits, I can share the Excel sheet now, or we will do it some other day.
Yeah, I think let's have some basic questions on each of these speakers.
Yeah,
for the benefit of, because the time is also. So to Dr. Gajjar sir.
Yes, sir.
See, there are many of our colleagues who have retired from their job, and they have good amount with them. Some maybe 65, 70 years, and they frequently keep on asking us, okay, please advise us, where do we keep our money? Comparatively to be a little safe, because at that age they have settled down, they have earned their life, but definitely everyone likes that whatever is there, it should grow. So according to you, what would be the best strategy? I think your that 3-bucket strategy which you told, does that apply to the above 65 years also? Because many of them are attending this webinar also.
Yes, yes. Actually, there was a study done for age 60 plus specific investments. I have already said in group, but I'll once again share it also. But the hierarchy in the way the senior citizens should invest is, first they should ensure. Okay. First, they should ensure the government schemes which are giving them guaranteed schemes and with the safety. That is the senior citizen savings scheme, then Pradhan Mantri Vay Bandhan Yojana. Then next is, still they have good enough capital, they can go for the government RBI floating rate bonds also. They also give, at present they are giving 7.15%, that is 35 basis points more than the senior citizen NSE certificate, NSE interest rates. So these three are the main, then rest depends upon the corpus that they have. But one must exhaust the senior citizen savings scheme, Pradhan Mantri Vay Bandhan Yojana and RBI floating rate bonds. And then rest, as Dr. Kumar and everybody knows, mutual fund offers multitude of options for regular income, for growth, for protection of income, all that. So that is a specific study, and I'll share it in the group once again also.
Thank you, sir. And because I could see my senior colleagues, past presidents of ISA, Dr. Kuchal Babu sir, Dr. Kameshwar sir, and many others here, so for their benefit. So now coming to Dr. Komaresh sir, see, as far as you said about the bill, the better it is made as early as possible, and we emphasized upon it. So according to you, someone who has kids who are not below 17, 18 years, I mean minor, they should go for a trust, and others, if they don't have any other kind of complicated things what you said for the trust, they can go for a registered will. So can you again repeat only this aspect of it, so that all the members, they can remember before we close this?
If you are disinheriting a member, if you have minor children, if you think that sometimes our close relatives may not take care, at the time we can create a minor beneficiary trust, special child, or some other person, my uncle's son, I want to help him, like that. So in these 4 conditions, it is better to have a trust in place. Fifth, nowadays litigations are going on. So many litigations are going on. So we have to protect our assets first. In case of money, indemnity scheme doesn't cover, then we have to pay from our pocket. That's why it's very important. If there are more chances, means we have to create a private family trust. Will, it is challengeable that this is not written by him. Even after registration, there are so many complications are there, but it has decreased, but still complications are there, and so many cases are going on in civil court.
The second question someone asked, what is the drawback of either or survivor account?
Yeah, we should be financially disciplined. In taxation aspect, first holders will be taken. It is their income. Suppose I am the first holder, I should put my money or my check. It's either a survivor account. So if my wife gets some check, I should not put my wife's check in my account, either a survivor. Though it will pass, in accounting purposes, auditor find it very difficult. So if you follow that financial discipline, even my auditor in 2002, 2003, he objected. But I told him that, sir, I will be financially disciplined. I will not put any of my wife's money in that or check in that or give a policy or anything for my wife in my wife's name. I will not do. I assured that. Then only for the past 20 years, he is not asking any question at all. What we do, if you are financially disciplined, no problem at all. Financially indisciplined, putting wife check, wife DD, wife money, or giving checks for wife LIC policy, LIC investments, going from your account, that causes the complications for auditor. That's why they don't allow us. But for the past 20 years, my auditor is comfortable because I am financially disciplined. That's the main drawback.
So, Dr. Arun, see, regarding the time value of money, equity, okay, I can understand. What do you say about the debt ones? Do you recommend that it should go on for a very long period? Because debts, they have a fixed period, I think. Whenever they advertise, it is 3 years, 5 years.
Yes, sir. Actually, my own practice has been to reinvest time and again. Sometimes even in consecutive years, I do it because many of them are for 3 years and like that. Then, of course, at the end of that, I decide whether I want to reinvest or not. But I'll just say that for one thing, that is a very subjective decision. It depends on the market situation at that time and on the individual's own financial situation. And I think that is something that we will have to discuss with each individual on a case-to-case basis, because I don't think we can really make a generalization on that, sir. So to be truthful, I cannot give any advice on this as an overall statement on that to our friends who are attending today. But definitely I will be happy to discuss with anybody who wants about their individual situations, sir.
Right, sir. So what I would like to
invested time and again, I have done it.
Tell the members is that here when we are saying the time value means you start early, but that doesn't mean you continue. Suppose you have invested in a particular fund. So we don't recommend you don't see it at all and leave it for 20 years or 30 years. That is not advisable.
That is indiscipline. That is complete indiscipline.
Wherever you invest, you have to review your investment. It can be on 6 month or 1 year basis, but definitely you have to review. How is the performance going on? Because unless you judge your investments on periodic basis, the returns might vary from person to person. Because if you are sleeping, see, for example, I'll give in a very simple language. There is a stocks group also, no? It is a specialized group of financial. So someone said that my grandfather took some shares and at that time the worth was 50,000. Today it is 5 crores. So another one replied that the same happened with a company. He invested 5 lakhs and the value is today 0 rupees because many of them got delisted. So it's not that you forget that formula that you invest today, forget for 20 years. It's not that. You have to review your investments. So now before we close,
Dr. Virendra sir, I'll just add one more point here.
Yeah.
Like I have a personal financial advisor. Of course, the person I have got, he has never, any financial advisor will look for his own benefit, for better returns for him. That is a reality. But at the same time, I will say that the gentleman who is my advisor, he has never misled me. And therefore, I will say that we must take the help of financial advisors in really, our groups also on WhatsApp are, good for sharing knowledge. But definitely they will give us advice which we do not know, because most of us will not have the time to go through the different what do we call the news and everything about the updates. But the point I would like to emphasize, as Dr. Virendra has already said, is that despite anything, whether advice you get from friends, from a financial advisor or anybody, you have to periodically check it yourself. As I said, I decided whether to reinvest in a certain bond or not to reinvest on it, depending on the kinds of returns I got. And yes, that required taking a relook at it at least once every year. Preferably.
Right. See, what I would like to add to what you are saying, our financial group, we write only one thing: don't be dependent on any financial advisor at all. Our motto of the group is to make our members learned in all aspects of financial planning. We don't need a financial advisor. There cannot be a better advisor than Dr. Kumresh or Dr. Gajjar. They are our colleagues. They don't have any vested interest. We don't invest through them. So as far as our group is concerned, even I take help of an advisor. I have taken help, but that doesn't mean I totally rely on him. So we.
So it is exactly.
One second, sir, please. See, let me clarify. The message should not go wrong. As financial advisor group, we recommend to all our members, be learned yourself first. You may invest through financial advisor, but you must have the basic knowledge of whatever you are investing. Don't completely rely on that. Dr. Kumresh sir, do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's perfect.
That is what we have been teaching in last 5 years. And that teaching is a continuous process. And what you are saying about the different aspects, in our financial group, we discuss every aspect of it, whether income tax, see the new provisions, presumptive taxation, plus minus NPS, plus minus PPF, everything is discussed. You may not be that active in that group, but we have produced more than 50 financial experts in our group. They can take a class anywhere. They can speak on any topic in last 5 years. So our policy is make our members more financially literate so that nobody can fool them. I'm not saying your advisor has done anything wrong or not, or someone else, but let us not give anybody a chance to fool us. That is the motto of the ISA Financial. Now, sir, please, I think on that aspect, it's quite clear. I mean, see, what we have been running the group, so I don't want any deviation from that policy. Now, for the knowledge of the members, actually, now I'm very happy also that this our members are joining that financial group, and we opened it from 256 and overnight it became 512. And there is a query also, many also keep on asking me, please do add. We had it on the Telegram, but unfortunately it didn't become that successful. So probably we might have to think of starting another WhatsApp group with our experts there. So at least we can answer their queries. See, since we are running this financial advisor group, so we'll have to do that much of homework, because I don't know, but WhatsApp is a little more what you call friendly to members, or maybe members are more used to that. See, the moment you get a free time, you open WhatsApp. Telegram, you might be checking 2 or 3 times in a day and all. So we might have to think. So before we close it, does anyone wants to ask any question? 2 or 3 we can take.
Sir,
Yes,
I just wanted to emphasize what I also did not mean become dependent on a financial advisor. What I really meant was that, like, I don't have really the time to go and read the business page every day. So what I really do is he tells me the investments and then I analyze them myself. That was the point I really wanted to raise. And yes, I'm lucky in the sense that I have a man who has never cheated me, but I know that many of you will not be so lucky. That is a very valid point.
Right, sir. So anyone has any queries? Many members want Dr. Kumresh to share. You can share in the financial, that sheet what you explained, how you became financially independent and all that sheet. You can share it in that financial advisor group. And so closing remarks, anyone else? Any of my colleague in the GC wants to speak something? Dr. Bharat, Dr. Sethi, our past dignitaries, Dr. Kuchel Babu sir, Dr. Kameshwar Rao sir, past presidents, Okay, we have two experts here. I would like to listen from them also. Stock expert, Dr. Chintan and Dr. Nilesh. Dr. Chintan, please show your face. You are the most loved person in that stocks group. Are you listening, sir? I think he is not. Dr. Nilesh, are you listening? Okay, anyway. So, should we call it off, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is already 4 plus.
Okay, then last remarks from our president, sir, and we call it off.
Thank you, all ISA past president, office bearers, faculties, and all. You have spent your valuable time to educate us. All have spoken different aspects. It is not one day affair. It will be continuous because sometimes we may not get time and all. You have to again read that, how it is that, go through that. As he said that, yes, the investment in stock may become that time when I was started investing, which was good companies have become nothing now. That time Infosys was nothing, but it has grown. And what was good that time, nothing is the value. That also risk is there. These are things, but we always should take risk, diversify into the different areas and investment, so that we can have a definitely better than bank or other investment. Other thing which I just thought that if there is something like agricultural or this thing, because there is also not very easy that thing. I was always thinking agriculture income in the long term is a good that. So I was thinking, but I personally now planning is taken barren land and planting trees. That trees after 20-year tree will grow and that will give. I just planted this year 60 teak plants. Maybe another few 2-3 years. This in our area. Just barren land available cheaper rate and near to the house and plant trees. That may be, because I do not know as a final what you say that. I thought that instead of any, that is a risk-free, I was thinking trees, and it is good for the environment and all. Because agriculture, yes, we have to go and this, and there is seasonal variation. Sometimes if the rain and all, but growing trees, always there is a demand. What I thought, I mixed trees. What I did was I put jack trees, I put mango trees, I put mahogany, I put teak, all this I put mixed and put in 1 acre. I could not get full, some more to come, but rain started. So it will go. It is not one day, but there is no liquidity. That is the thing. But some money can be put there, and it is for the next generation or future. At the old age, you can sit and relax. Sometimes selling one teak tree may cost after 20 years will cost. At present is around 2 lakhs. That time one in a year. That was my calculation. I was going that. That maybe we have to think that. I don't know as a financial advisor, you advise or not. I don't know. But that also we have to think. It is not an agriculture. It is foresting. Agriculture is always there is some risk of fast growth or this thing. There is labor intensive and then you have to go. But it's not that much. I think no theft and all. That is what my personal thinking. Maybe what it is left to you that we could always think that, because it will never. If nothing happens, yes, we have grown our environment. That satisfaction will be there. Some amount we have to put there. Anyway, thank you everybody, and we have enjoyed your lecture. I kept my video off. It was really wonderful. And Komresh, we will interact. Are you coming to SARC, Komresh, day after?
Yeah, I've got a family function, sir. So this time I'm not coming. Next time, sure, sir.
Sir, I will be coming.
Okay.
Here, sir.
Yes. Right. Thank you all. And over to you, Virender.
Thank you, President sir, and I must thank our all the 3 speakers presented very well, and above all, I thank all the members, all those who attended this. And yes, we keep on doing these kind of webinars, and there is no end to it. Maybe if another interesting topic comes from Dr. Komresh, we may arrange again go for that with the help of Dr. Gajjar and Dr. Mehra. So thank you all. Thank you very much. It's been a long 2 hours in the Sunday afternoon. Thank you.
नहीं रसगुल्ला नहीं पसंद। ठीक है, ले लिया तो खाया गया, लेकिन ना ना वो डिब्बा पैक वाला जो टेस्ट होता है ना, सेम है। क्वेश्चन